Good morning, my dear students, and welcome to this session. I am Dr. Ritu Saha, Associate Professor, Department of Microbiology, Bosundhara Addin Medical College, South Keranganj, Dhaka. Today, I am going to discuss with you about introduction of parasitology. First, I am going to give you a brief idea about history of parasitic disease. Parasitic disease were known from ancient times, and Greek, Chinese, ancient Egyptians and Indians know about parasitic disease from 3000 to 300 BC. But Anthony von Leeuwenhoek discovered microscope at 17th century, and then it follows discovery of protozoal diseases. Now we are going to know about some terms and definitions of parasitology. What do we mean by medical parasitology? It is a branch of medical science that deals with medically important parasites and their medical implications. What is parasite? Parasites are the organisms which depends upon host for its nutrition and accommodation and do harm to the host in return, but give no benefit to the host. What is host? Host is an organism which gives shelter and nourishment to parasite. Now we are going to discuss about host-parasite relationship. Host-parasite relationship is of three types. One is symbiosis, two is commensalism, and three is parasitism. What do you mean by symbiosis? Symbiosis is an association of host with parasite where both are dependent upon each other on such an extent that one cannot live without another. What is commensalism? Commensalism is an association where the parasite derive the nutrition and all the benefits from host and give no benefits in return to the host. A commensal can live individual life if get opportunity. But in symbiosis, host and parasite both cannot live without one another. Example of symbiosis is normal flora of our gut, and commensalism. Commensal may come to host for a transient period of time, and they may capable of leading independent life cycle. Parasitism. Parasitism is an association with host and parasite where parasite get all the food, nourishment and accommodation from host, but host get nothing in return and parasite do harm to host. Sometimes the host have some resistance to the parasitic disease which may give protection of the host to develop further sign, symptom and infection. A parasite has lost his capacity to lead an independent life. Now we are going to learn about types of parasite. Parasite is of two types, ectoparasite and endoparasite. Ecto means outside of the body, so ectoparasites are those parasites, especially they are arthropod, which leaves the outer surface or outer part of an host. Example, redubic bug and body louse. What is endoparasite? Endoparasite means the parasite which live inside the body of host, such as body tissue, body cavity, intestinal tract and other organs and part of our body. There are another classification of types of parasite, permanent parasite. Permanent parasite are the parasite which leads their parasitic life throughout the whole period of their life cycle. Temporary parasite. Temporary parasite are the parasite which live their parasitic life in the host for a short period of time. Opportunistic or facultative parasite. They are the parasite which lead their parasitic life when get opportunity. Obligatory parasite. Obligatory parasite are the parasite they do not exist their life cycle without entering in an host. Occasional or accidental parasite. Occasional parasites usually attack in an unusual host. Wandering or aberrant parasite that happens to reach a place where they usually do not live. Now we are going to discuss about host and the classification of host. What is host? Host is an organism which gives shelter and nourishment to the parasite. Types of host: definitive host, intermediate host, accidental host, paratenic host and reservoir host. What do we mean by definitive host? Definitive host are the host where parasites live their adult stage of life and sexual form of reproduction occurs here, such as mosquito is the definitive host in case of malarial parasite. Intermediate host. In an intermediate host, it harbors the larval stage of parasite. Here, asexual reproduction of parasite occur. Example: human is the intermediate host in case of malarial parasite. Some parasite needs more than one intermediate host, such as some trematodes. Paratenic host. Paratenic hosts are the hosts where parasite undergo an arrested development and larval form of parasite usually accumulate in the host. They accumulate in the host for such an extent until they have chance of active infection and available definitive host is present here. Example: Echinococcus granulosus. Here the parasite remains viable without any further development. Accidental host. Accidental hosts are the hosts where parasites do not develop normally, but when infection occurs, they may complete their life cycle or parasite may eventually die. Example: man is an accidental host in case of Ankylostomia canium. Reservoir host. Reservoir host harbors a particular pathogen and act as long-term source of infection and are essential for maintenance of an infection when active transmission do not occur. Example: dog is an reservoir host in case of Leishmania donovani. What do we mean by parasitoidism? It is a relationship between host and parasite where parasite kill the host. It occurs in case of ants, bees and flies. What do you mean by zoonosis? Zoonosis is a parasitic disease which usually comes from an animal. The parasite usually cause disease to the animal, but accidentally the disease comes from animal to human. What do we mean by vector? Vector is usually an arthropod which transport any pathogenic organism from infected to uninfected person. Example: female Anopheles mosquito in case of malaria, female Culex mosquito in case of Wuchereria bancrofti. Classification of parasite. Parasites are broadly classified into two types, one protozoa, two helminths. Protozoa are unicellular organism, example Entamoeba histolytica, Plasmodium vivax. Metazoa or helminth, they are multicellular organism such as Ascaris lumbricoides and Callostroma duodenale, Tinea solium, etc. Classification of protozoa. Protozoa are divided into four types: amoeba, flagellates, sporozoa and ciliated protozoa. Amoeba, example Entamoeba histolytica, they usually move with pseudopod, which is an protrusion of their cell membrane. Flagellates are divided into three types according to their habitat or body site where they reside, such as intestinal flagellate, Giardia intestinalis, vaginal flagellate, Trichomonas vaginalis, and hemoflagellate which reside in blood such as Leishmania donovani, Trypanosoma brucei, Trypanosoma cruzi. Sporozoa, malaria parasite, Plasmodium vivax, Toxoplasma gondii. Epicomplexa, Cyclosporidium parvum. Ciliates are Balantidium coli. Classification of helminths. Helminths are divided into two types, Platyhelminthes and Nemathelminthes. Platyhelminthes are further classified into two types, cystode and trematode, and Nemathelminthes are called nematode. Example of cystode are Tinea solium, Tinea saginata, Echinococcus granulosus. Example of trematode, Schistosoma hematobium, Paragonimus ostermani, etc. Example of nematode, Ascaris lumbricoides, Callostroma duodenale, Strongyloides stercoralis, Wuchereria bancrofti, etc. Now we are going to discuss about source and infection portal of entry. Some parasitic infection may occur through contaminated food and drinks. This part is very important for your examination, both written and viva. Contaminated food and drinks, Entamoeba histolytica, Ascaris lumbricoides, Tinea solium, Tinea saginata and Diphyllobrothium latum may transmit to and host through contaminated food and drinks. Some parasites enter in our body by penetrating skin and mucous membrane, such as Ankylostomma duodenale, Necator americana, Strongyloides stercoralis, Schistosoma hematobium. Some parasites enter in and host by agencies of insect vector, such as Plasmodium. It transmits to and host by female Anopheles mosquito, Trypanosoma. Leishmania, it usually enters into host by sandfly. Wuchereria bancrofti or filarial disease, it occurs through female Culex mosquito. Parasitic disease that occurs through sexual contact. There is only one parasite which may transfer sexually. You should mention or recall or remember it very well, as it is very much important for examination. It is Trichomonas vaginalis. So, Trichomonas vaginalis is the only parasitic disease that may transmit through sexual contact. Parasite that may cause congenital infection. Kala jar or Leishmania donovani and Toxoplasma gondii. Now we are going to discuss about immune responses in parasitic infection. There may be 4 types of immune response occur in an parasitic infection. 1. Humoral immune response. Here immunoglobulin are synthesized such as immunoglobulin M and immunoglobulin G. Cell mediated immune response occurs in intracellular parasitic disease such as cutaneous leishmaniasis, Schistosoma hematobium, Trichinella spiralis. There are some autoimmune reaction occur in parasitic disease where autoantibody forms against RBC in case of malaria and severe anemia occur. Hypersensitivity reaction. In some parasitic disease, immediate or delayed hypersensitivity reaction may be occurred. Immediate hypersensitivity reaction or anaphylactic reaction occur in case of malaria where nephrotic syndrome may appear. Delayed type of hypersensitivity, example Montenegro reaction in case of Leishmania donovani, eosinophilic granuloma in case of Wuchereria bancrofti. Pre-immunization or concomitant immunity. Here is a relative resistance to reinfection of host where low level of parasite reside in the host. This type of infection usually cure when the parasite is cured from the body by treatment, and this type of concomitant immunity occur in case of malaria and Schistosoma hematobium. In case of Plasmodium falciparum malaria, recrudescence occur if incomplete treatment of antimalarial drug, and after giving full course of antimalarial drug, the situation subsides. Tolerance. Tolerance is an infection immunity where the host is resistant to the infection but the organism remains in the body of host and continues multiplying and infection. The host become tolerant to the parasite. Now, laboratory diagnosis of parasitic disease. We can do some direct test and get some direct evidences of parasitic disease, and there are some indirect evidences of parasitic disease. Direct evidences of parasitic disease, we may get it by morphological identification of parasite through microscopic examination. Microscopic examination of parasitic disease, we may examine blood sample, stool sample, urine sample and sputum sample. What are the parasitic disease that we get by examination of blood film? Malaria, Kala jar, filaria and sleeping sickness and Chagas disease by trypanosoma. Blood film examination are of 4 types: thick smear, thin smear, wet film preparation and special stains. Wet mount preparation is done for detection of microfilaria in case of Wuchereria bancrofti. Now, examination of feces. Stool examination is of 3 types: 1. Gross examination or macroscopic appearance. 2. Macroscopical preparation, it may be saline preparation, iodine preparation, thick smear and preparation of special stain such as trichome stain and iron hematoxylin stain. There are some concentration methods for stool microscopic examination such as flotation technique and sedimentation techniques. There are some parasitic disease that we get from examination of stool sample. In case of protozoal infection, we get information about Entamoeba histolytica infection by examining stool sample. Some larvae such as Strongyloides stercoralis are found by examination of stool sample. Eggs found in case of Ascaris lumbricoides, Ankylostoma duodenale, Enterobius vermicularis, Diphyllobrothium latam, and Tinea solium and Saginata infection. Adult worm or segmented worm is found in case of Tinea solium and Tinea saginata infection. Examination of urine. By examination of urine, we can get information about Schistosoma hematobium infection and microfilaria infection by Wuchereria bancrofti when we examine chylous urine. But occasionally, tropozoite of Trichomonas vaginalis and egg of Enterobius vermicularis may be detected in stool sample. Examination of sputum. Paragonimus westermanni, amoebic lung abscess, tropozoite of Entamoeba histolytica may be found. In case of rupture hydatid cyst in lung, we can get Echinococcus granulosus. But some nematode passes through lung to complete their life cycle, such as Ankylostoma duodenale, Ascaris lumbricoides, Strongyloides stercoralis. They may be detected in sputum sample when they passes through the lung. Examination of some biopsy material such as splenic puncture in case of Kala-Jor, bone marrow puncture in case of Kala-Jor, lymph node in case of filaria, liver biopsy and rectal biopsy. Liver biopsy is done in case of amoebic liver abscess and rectal biopsy is done in case of Schistosoma infection. CSF is taken in case of Naegleria fowleri infection, hydatid cyst, maybe aspiration of hydatid cyst is taken and we diagnose Echinococcus granulosus. There are some molecular method which is polymerase chain reaction we can done for direct evidence of parasitic infection. Cultivation of parasite. Culture method is available in case of amoeba infection, leishmania infection and malaria parasite infection. Others method of cultivation of parasite is animal inoculation and genodiagnosis, which is not practically important. Indirect evidences. We can do X-ray, ultrasonogram, cytological changes in blood, biochemical alteration in blood sample and some serological tests. Serological test is nowadays very much available and it is very much helpful in detecting some parasitic disease. Available serological tests are indirect hemagglutination assay, immunofluorescence assay, immunochromatographic test, enzyme link immunosorbent assay and complement fixation test. Immunological diagnosis is mostly useful in case of amoebiasis, leishmaniasis, malarial parasite infection, toxoplasmosis, filariasis and echinococcosis. Skin test. Specificity of skin test is very low, but it is done in case of Echinococcus granulosus infection, Cassonis test and Leishmanin test in case of Leishmania donovani infection. That's all from today's session. Thank you very much for your patient hearing.